Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out AVAX's price chart, and it seems like that unfortunately we are going according to the bearish scenario. Why? If you remember, the last time that we talked about Avalanche, we were around, I think, this high, and the idea was that we are maybe having a 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is going to be a correction for 4, and followed by that, this can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yet another move on the downside into wave 5. And we got that move, and I'm actually able to tell you maybe starting from here to about this point, we are having something like, yep, an ABC expanded flat into wave 4. And this can be our final move down into wave 5, which on a higher degree is going to be into this wave 5 right in here. And question, what is going to happen after a 5 wave down, even if you want to go according to the most pessimistic scenario? You know it, we are going to have a move on the upside. So the fact that from these areas we are having a bounce in AVAX, I don't really believe it's like that much of a surprise at all. But here's the situation, I don't really care. This move up that we are having is actually tradable because it is honestly kind of predictable. However, we are not sure about the shape of it, and that is exactly why this isn't tradable. Okay, what I do care about is this. Are we going to get in this phase a very strong bounce like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe a correction and structure on the upside, let's say an ABC or maybe a WXY, generally relative to this phase down, a very slow and choppy bounce back that is going to take some time. Why? Because if we get a correction up, a very slow move, that's not really going to be a good sign, indicating on a higher degree, this is 1, this is 2, and guess what is next? Yup, decent move down into wave 3 and 4 and 5. I'm gonna say probably in order to reach to about the lows down here, and either we are going to take it or maybe we are going to get extremely close to it, somewhere around $20.5. Now, is it going to be such a bad sign? I honestly don't think so. I'm going to tell you in a bit why. But before that, what about having an impulsive structure in here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order to hopefully even take this high for the first target around $26.8. That actually might be a very optimistic sign, suggesting, I don't know, maybe in Avalanche we are having 1, 2 followed by yet another 1 and a 2, and then big move up into wave 3, 4, 5, and this whole move is going to be the subphase for a larger degree wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. If we get a very strong bounce back in form of a 5 wave, well, that might actually confirm the bullish scenario that we talked about in the previous videos. Question though, am I optimistic and think about that scenario with more confidence? I'll be honest with you, probably not. But we should be at any given moment 100% objective and be able to come up with a bullish and also a bearish count at the same time. So talking about a potential bullish scenario was definitely in the interest of that. And in my primary case, I'm gonna argue probably we should expect a correction up followed by another move down. And pay attention, the moment that in this phase down we managed to take this important slowdown here in AVAX about $22.2, that's actually going to be a very important bearish confirmation, indicating, you know what, this is an ABC zigzag. And since in here we are having a rather sharp move down, well, okay, this might be impulse down followed by a correction up, and what is next according to this scenario? Unfortunately, another move down. But I don't really expect this move down to be that deep. Why? Because in this pullback we actually went very close to the highs in here around $27.5, and to me this suggests that there is actually a balance between bears and bulls. And if we are going to get a move down, and right now we are going according to that scenario, at least in the short term, it's not really going to be that much of a big move down, and I'm really hoping that from these areas in Avalanche we are going to have a very strong bounce back and hopefully start the next major phase of the bull run. This is why if we get a phase down in AVAX, it's not really going to be such a bearish sign at all. In fact, in my view, it's just all part of the bullish process, suggesting maybe starting from here, either this is an ABC in form of a flat or maybe even a zigzag, generally some sort of a correction structure, suggesting after this is over, we are going to continue the bull run that we are having in Avalanche, because I do think probably off of the lowest low, this is 1, this is 2, good move up into wave 3, correction for 4, and then another move up into wave 5, either to about here or here, is not really that important. The point that I'm trying to make is this: I think overall this is a beautiful bullish setup, and maybe this is one on a higher degree, correction for 2, and what's next? Good move up into wave 3, 4, 5, and who knows, if we are lucky, maybe even in this phase we are going to set an all-time high and take the highest side, which I think it was somewhere around 160 bucks. Let's actually go on daily time frame, hide everything, there we go. Yep, as you can see, it is actually somewhere around $151. I think that can be indeed in the cards for this cycle, and I think the current cycle is going to take probably another 6 months to about a year and a half. So, you know, I don't really believe that we are going to, in the next, let's say 20-30 days, get an outright alt season and everything is going to move effectively immediately. I think that might be a bit unlikely. So let's just take every single thing step by step and see what's next. And if we get a very strong bounce back soon in order to set an all-time high, you know what, great sign. At that point, I'm going to make quite a good bit of money, and I'm going to at that point admit that I was absolutely wrong. And what a great mistake that would be, because by my mistake, I actually made quite a good bit of money much earlier. So in AVAX, do not let anybody tell you otherwise. I think we do have a beautiful bullish scenario, and even in the midterm, we get a move down and in it we take all the lows. I don't really think it's going to be a short opportunity, because we are having this unbelievably important support area, which the lower band of it is about $15.8. So I'm going to argue, since at that point the risk to reward ratios are going to make perfect sense, this is actually going to be a great buy opportunity. Why? Okay, let's say you want to buy Avalanche right around the lows, about $15. What's going to be your stop loss? If you really want to be conservative, you can actually put your stop under these areas, about $5 region. So essentially you are having a $10 stop. On the other hand, what's your target if you are a midterm trader? Well, I think it's safe to say that our bare minimum target can be taking this important high, about 65 bucks. And if you want to be really patient, it can also be taking the highest side around 150 bucks. But you know what, let's not talk about those scenarios. Let's just say we are going to, in the next phase up in AVAX, take this high. At that point, you are having about, I believe, yep, a $50 target, but on the other hand, a $10 stop, meaning your risk to reward ratio is at least according to the most pessimistic scenario, 1 to 5. And that, my friends, is absolutely fantastic. This is why I am bullish in AVAX, and I fully believe on a great bull run. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Avalanche. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.